Hi, I'm Scott Hosman,
Hi, I'm Dashe Williams.
and this is our first podcast. We're just going for it and starting, and we thought we'd talk a little bit about mentoring and what they've meant to us. We're making a Mentor.Social app to try to help young adults so they could ask career questions that will be answered by artificial intelligence and expert mentors. So we thought we would just start talking and record it, and hopefully some people get some insights from this. So Shay, tell us a little bit about, I guess, you had a strong mentor in your life. Tell us a little bit about what that meant for you and how that made a difference.
For me, I think that it was really impactful. The biggest takeaway I got from it, honestly, was having someone in my corner to push me past, I would say, levels that I didn't think I could achieve. So I gave my mentor in 6th grade, and he's been with me throughout even my college career, all the way up throughout my master's degree. And I honestly thank him for it, because he pushed me to not only expand my education and further my education. I wasn't sure I was going to go to college. I ended up getting a college scholarship. After that, he's like, you can do more. Go for your master's degree. And then I ended up getting my master's degree. He also pushed me to aim for my PhD, and I'm working on that currently to see if that's going to be a step in my journey. But without him, honestly, I don't think I would have came this far or been where I am right now. And as much success is credited to him.
That's awesome. So you really think by having a mentor young, it changed the trajectory of your life?
100%. And I think it starts at a young age. I'm glad that he did come into my life at the 6th grade age, because I didn't have someone in my corner. No one in my family went to college, so I didn't really have anyone to look up to or aspire to say, yeah, I want to go to college. But when he did come into my life, that kind of pushed me to make it. And I wanted to go to college. I wanted to pursue a master's degree. I wanted to just continue my education. I continue to do certificates to this day.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I feel I've always wanted a mentor and I never had one. So I felt like I was left to figure everything out on my own. And I always felt like if I had someone, it would have made a big change. But I see the value of, having to have figured out so much by myself. It made me self-sufficient. But I feel like, man, that it just really having someone that could have gave me some guidance as, someone older that's been through it would have gone a long way. I mean, just even now in my older age, in the last couple of years, is the first time I ever met someone older than me that was willing to check in on me, cared, and give advice, and they didn't want something. So for me, it's always been someone wanted something from me. So it really wasn't, there was always a point behind what they were communicating with me. It wasn't just for my best interest. So I had to be mindful of that.
So do you think, how would it shift your childhood? Do you think if you did have a mentor, do you think your trajectory would be different now? Or?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think, it's hard to know how it would be different. But I think, I had aspirations of maybe, going to medical school. If someone had the right information or I had access to that, I think maybe I could have gone to medical school. Because as a young, I'm the first person to graduate college in my family as well, which is the interesting thing was my mom was actually upset that I wanted to go back to college, because after high school, I worked and then started a business to make enough money to go back to college, because I had to find a way to pay for it. And when my mom saw that I was making money with my business, she thought, she was really upset, because that older generation didn't feel like if something was going well, you never change it. But I felt like if I could, I always thought, man, there's people making millions of dollars selling matchsticks. There's people making millions of dollars selling toilet paper. If they can do it with that, just because I'm making money in one thing, I could do it with anything. I should be going for the things that I want to do. But I didn't really know how to navigate that stuff. So it's, left to my own, mind to figure that stuff out.
So did you know what you wanted to be or what you wanted to do or study when you were younger?
So I went through a whole host of different evolutions. So as when I was in maybe 2nd grade, I wanted to be a carpet dry steam cleaner, because I know it sounds weird, but there was a guy that came to the house and cleaned the carpets, and I was like, man, he was only here for an hour. It was $250, and I looked up in this Bargain News newspaper and I saw the cost of the equipment, and I thought, man, that the amount of revenue for that amount of time, and then the cost of the equipment was just unbeatable. So it sounds weird, but for years I wanted to be a carpet cleaner. And then somewhere in middle school, I read that 1 in 5 dry cleaners was a millionaire. So I really wanted to have a dry cleaning business. High school, you start to get told a lot more. I looked at, even when I talked to my guidance counselor about going to college, he said, well, you can't go to college. You don't have money and you don't have good grades. So you have to go to the military. And I really didn't want to go to the military. So it was weird. I really didn't, that's where I felt lost for quite a while of, I had dreams of, man, it would be great to be a doctor. But that costs lots of money. You're not allowed to do that. You're not rich. And that's when I was going to a community college, and I met a kid from a little bit wealthier area, and it was his dad's best friend was a pharmaceutical sales rep. And I remember thinking, he's talking about his job, and we went to his room, and I told him, I said, look, there's no way someone's making 6 figures to go talk to people about science and stuff. But if I find out that's real, I'm going to do that. So sure enough, I found out it was a real job. And so that really was my plan. I really was floundering in this community college until I found out about this. And I said, well, I'm going to, save up enough money and get a real degree. And I'm going to go for that. And that's what I did.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now, what can you describe your job, or at least say your title of your position?
Yeah. So I work as an executive business manager, which means I manage an area for a medical device company. And then that's been extremely rewarding because, I actually, when I went back, I did a phys ed program because I found out that covered all the pre-med requirements except for a couple. And I thought there's no almost doctor, so I might as well go for that. And then when I got out, having the business degree and the science background and an interest in trying out that pharmaceutical rep position, I went for that. And it's been really rewarding because, I look at it like if we weren't there helping the physicians change the way that they prescribe the medications or these devices, a lot of times you're bringing in new things that help patients better than the old things. And the way medicine works is you could have the cure for death, and it would take 5 years for anybody to even go to use it because the system's so busy. It takes a lot to disrupt the system, so to speak. So without, as a representative for the company there to bring in the new research, I don't think things would advance as quickly at all. So I really enjoyed, having that part in the system.
That's cool. Very cool.
Now, how about you? I mean, you've been working on the mentoring app for a year now. I mean, how has that been? Have you found that rewarding, or what's that been like?
For me, it's been a great journey. Rewarding for me because I've been learning new skills throughout. Also just challenging myself in different aspects and wanting to learn more. Each step that we go and get further and further, I have to learn a new skill set somehow. So in the beginning, I had to learn UX design. I had to create the wireframes for us. So for me, I took a course on Coursera, and that was great. I loved it. So just by that process of me wanting to do new things, I want to be engaged in every part of this building an app. It's been really rewarding for me. So now I've been taking a data science course and trying to figure out marketing, digital marketing. So I'm trying to put all the pieces to the puzzle together. I'm thankful because I had a background in designing just by learning on my own since the 6th grade as well. So I'm very interested into the arts and design and graphics. So everything's coming together piece by piece.
Yeah, it's been neat watching you take each course one after another, apply it to the application, work with the developers each day. And it's funny how, now you fast forward a year and a half or so, maybe a year or so, looking at where you started, you see these random sketches and then to see Excel sheets when you worked with a consultant on the data tables, and we just talk about it each day, and there's little pieces that move forward. It's amazing to see that. I think there's a quote somewhere. It's, people generally underestimate what they can do what is it or overestimate what they can do in a year, but underestimate what they can do in 10. I think that scales down. It's, people want to achieve everything in like one day, and it's just, you can't, it's just, it doesn't work that way. Even, people say, do an app, do a business. And after seeing how much it takes, you think it really is critical that every day consistently has some little thing taken care of. And that's much more realistic than thinking you're going to put in this massive effort in like a week or something.
100%.
So it's neat though now when you look back at the efforts of a little bit of effort each day over the year, it's gone a long way. And I'm sure that's going to keep going for, 5-10 years or more until everything is completely finished. But it's really, now you start to see a little more of the light at the end of the tunnel. So it seems like you're almost getting more motivated. Is that the case?
Yeah, I think it comes with more motivation in different aspects. I think now my motivation comes from learning new things. Because the UX design, at a certain point, you're going back and forth, and there was like, you start to go down and down. It gets a little draining because you're going back and forth, a lot of repetitive action. But then it goes like to the next step, and there's something new to learn. So that kind of like, it's like a fresh start. It gets me back to the boost. I was like, okay, now I'm learning something new. Then it goes to the next one. Now we're in the marketing phase. So now I'm taking courses on marketing. How can I do this better? Oh, let me test this ad. So like seeing my results, and like how can I produce more? And then let's try it again. So I think more it comes from results and seeing the action pack. I definitely thrive off of seeing like the numbers and building the YouTube channel. I'm like, man, this video did so much better. This topic did so much better. So for me, seeing what really thrives and what doesn't, and how can we keep creating. So I think I do like get better over time. As you can see, like the evolution of just the videos that I first made to the videos that I'm doing now, the voiceovers, the content that I'm creating, just pushing out. I definitely see the evolution within myself, and just definitely getting the push from you to keep going. It's an everyday process for sure. So
yeah, well, I love being there for you and supporting it. It's so great to see you just transform and become so passionate about something, and like just grow as an individual and build your skill sets. And I mean, you look at some of even just from the video editing and the graphic design that you did a year ago to today is like two different levels. And it's like we talk about sometimes there's just no, I know you were looking back at going to school for more, and some of me is like, look, it's just, you have the skills, you just need to do it now. It's almost, it isn't necessarily school. School can't replace, school's important, but it's also, nothing gives you more experience than just actually doing things. And that's where once you dug in and just started to build more confidence in yourself and trying more things, it felt like you were getting better and better really rapidly. And then that transfers over, to the app. And, ultimately the goal is that we help this next generation of people. I mean, one of the interesting things to me has been, the intent was really to help young adults. And as people are testing it, I get a lot of older adults that go, man, I wish I had a mentor. I actually would like to ask questions. So I'm curious as the application goes live that, we were expecting like 13 to 26 year olds to be sort of like the main target market. And it seems like there's a lot of adults that have things they want to ask from experts, or they don't feel that they got to the place they could have gotten to, and they still want to grow at a lot of older ages. So my gut tells me we're going to see a lot more folks that are older. Even myself, it's like I always wanted this mentor. I don't feel that I've gotten to where I want to be. And I think at every stage of your life you could use a mentor, and as you level up, you need maybe higher level mentors, and then to keep that chain going is just as important. So for me, I'm always looking to help, whether younger or older than me, but if someone that I can help, things that I've learned and I can transfer to someone else, like I'll take whatever time it takes to just get it to sort of give a hand up to the people sort of that haven't done as well, because I can't complain. Like it's, I've done well in life, so I have like a moral obligation to help those who haven't done as well. So I think it's, this application will make that process so much more efficient, because I think of it as, if you're a person and you're going to mentor, if you have something really valuable to give and you do that on a one-on-one, you meet someone at Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's every Sunday, all of that knowledge just goes to one person and they walk away and hopefully they use it and maybe they don't. And they may never tell someone else that. But on our application, then you could answer someone's question and a million people could take that information and utilize it. So we really need to, as much as we need more people to mentor young adults, we need to make it more efficient for those that do mentor young adults to get their information out easier to more people.
Yeah, 100%.
And I don't see any other way. It's like, people talk so much about the negatives of social media, and I think that's true. I think a lot of the social media applications are filled with almost like mind-numbing information. You're watching, jiggling butts and dancing videos, and you're thinking, you're watching people kill 8 hours a day on that. But imagine, if we took that same power to capture someone's attention and then fed them good content, answered their questions, helped them explore different career paths or, even like life. I mean, everybody has things that could help benefit their life that they could ask someone with more experience.
Yeah, 100%.
So I guess, we were looking to stay around 15 minutes. So, we want to keep it short and sweet and start to do 15 minutes at a time each day and put it out there. So hopefully we found something informative and engaging and got to know us a little bit. And we look to get to know you more.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.